What's up, everyone? So I wanted to make a video for you guys that shows you the process from start to finish, creating something from nothing to a fully functional mechanical sculpture. So the idea for this project is to create a little sculpture, and there's gonna be like a lever or like a button or something, and when you press it, it claps. The whole point is to make art that is interactive. So in this situation, if you're like listening to a song, you can pull out your clapping sculpture thing and you can clap to the beat. I hope through these videos that I can inspire you to create and help you conceptualize how to make mechanical things. So let's get right into it. I'm Jay. This is JBV Creative. Let's create. It's hard for me to show you guys the initial stages of the design process because a lot of that happens in my head where I visualize how I want things to look and just take the idea from nothing into like something. But that can only go so far, which is why it helps a lot to put things down on paper. I use my whiteboard and I'll try to draw different views, like the side view, the front view, and maybe a 3D view. Just anything that can help me get a better feel for the scope and the size and the way I want things to look. And this is kind of the part where the creative process starts transitioning into the engineering process, because now I got to figure out how to actually make this thing so it can be 3D printed. And that's where computer automated design comes in, or CAD. So let's jump into the CAD and I can explain more over there. So this is SolidWorks. This is the CAD software I've been using for quite a while. And I start by making the base for the sculpture by making a rectangle and then extruding it into 3D. I give it some rounded edges and then a chamfer around the outside edges to make it look nice. And then I can add a flange to hold the spine of the sculpture. And this is something that I use for the Rosen gear sculpture, so I have a little bit of an idea of the right size and clearances to use here. I round the edges off on that, give it a chamfer for some strength and style. And now it's time to start the assembly, which is basically the virtual building environment where I can put parts together. So I add the lever, which I previously made, and I line it up with the base in the position I want it to be in. And it looks like the lever is a little too long, so I can make a quick adjustment, get it to the right size. That looks better. Now I can make the tabs on the base where the lever will mount to. And I start by making a 2D sketch. I extrude it into 3D, and then I mirror it so I have it on both sides. Now I can align the lever to the tabs, and it looks good. And this is cool because I can actually test how things will move in real life. Now I can add the connecting rods and line them up with the sides of the lever. And then I can orient them in the direction that they will likely be in when the final sculpture is done to get a better idea of how things are going to look. This looks pretty good so far. So now I can add the spine, which I had previously made, and you have to constrain things in 3 directions if you want them to not move. So I start by pushing the bottom of the spine into the base, then I align the center of the spine with the center of the base, and then I get it into the flange in the right position that it's supposed to be in. Now I can add the upper links, so I bring them to the assembly and I line it up with the hole in the spine and then the face of the spine. And now I can repeat that for the other 3 links. And then I can orient them in the position that I want them to be in for the final assembly. Now I can bring the links in that will hold the hands, and I use the same method to line them up with the holes of the upper links. And just like that, you can start seeing the motion that these are supposed to move in. So after making some quick adjustments to the size, now that everything is together, I'm starting to really see the way that the sculpture is going to look. But I run into a snag here because this is the point where my visualization kind of ends, and now I actually have to really figure out how this mechanism is going to work. So my original thought was to connect these connecting rods from the levers to the upper link arms. The reason this isn't going to work is because as the lever moves up and down, the connecting links want to move forward and backwards as well as up and down. That means that I wouldn't be able to connect them to the upper links without a couple extra links, adding more complexity than I'm looking for here. So it's back to the drawing board, and I came up with a couple different types of mechanisms here. The first one uses these 2 arms on the sides of the spine, which would be resting on these 2 tabs at the back of the lever. As the lever moves up and down, it pushes on the sliding arms, which then push on the upper links, causing the mechanism to clap. And since they're just resting on the lever, that gives them the freedom of motion to allow this mechanism to work. I wasn't satisfied with the way this mechanism looked, so I decided to come up with something else that uses this slider, which slides right onto the spine and connects directly to the connecting rods. As you can see, as you press the lever up and down, it pushes the slider up and down. So in order to get this to activate the arms, all I have to do is add a little tab to the slider. So I do it like everything else. You make a 2D sketch, extrude to 3D, mirror it, And now you can see when this is put onto the mechanism, it causes the mechanism to work exactly as I'm looking for. And I love the way this motion works. The last thing to do is cut some holes in the bottom of the hand so they can fit onto the tabs on the tops of these arm links. So this is Blender. It's a 3D modeling software that works better with artistic models. And I start by importing the arm link into Blender. Then I get it oriented in the position that I need it to be in relative to the hand. And I line it up perfectly with the bottom of the hand. Now I can use the Boolean operation in Blender, and that cuts these holes into the bottom of the hands perfectly. Now it's time to get them on the printer. So I use this software to slice the models into layers that the printer can understand. And I have 3 separate printers, so I can set 3 different builds up, and that allows me to speed up the process of prototyping so I can test this as quickly as possible. And then it's time to print. Parts are done printing. Let's see what we got. We had a little problem with the Prusa yesterday. It ran out of filament, and then it kind of jammed. So I had to print the rest of the parts on the other 2 guys. Let's put it together for the first time. I'm actually feeling pretty confident that we'll be able to get this to work on the first try. So let's do it. So this should go together pretty easily as long as this slides. Oh yeah. Okay, first time putting this together, so hopefully I get it right. That starts by pushing that in. I guess we can slide that on next. And we can do all of these pieces. It's pretty rare to get these on the first iteration, but on this piece I'm using a lot of the same stuff from the Hands Up project, which I've already proved to work. So I'm feeling confident, as long as I didn't miss anything blatant in the CAD process. Oh no, I made the holes for everything 9mm, but these parts came from when I was doing 7mm pins, but it's not a big deal. It's all part of the design process, including the mistakes. No, broke it. All right, well, I'm gonna reprint these. It should only take like 10 minutes to print them, so I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, let's finish putting this thing together. I think I'm missing a C-clamp. Ah, in the box still. These hands should just pop right on to the ends of these pieces here. Yeah, nice, nice. And yeah, the weight of the hands, all right. Okay, so it's close. But the angle of the hands kind of makes it do this awkward palm clap. So I'm gonna fix that. And I think I'm just gonna change the angle of the hands so they're more facing each other. But the idea is there. Clap your hands, everybody. Everybody, clap your hands to the beat. So I also just need to get this to drop better because this one's dropping perfectly. So I'll make those changes in the CAD and then we can come back here and put the final thing together. Also, maybe I'll extend the base out a little bit too, so you don't have to hold it. Give a round of applause, everyone, for iteration number 1. All right, let's go do it. All right, let's make some quick changes here and see if the improvements helped. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. The base, now I can press it without holding it, which is awesome. So let's try these new hands out now. So you can see the difference. This one's leaning forward a little bit more and it's a little bit flatter. So hopefully we can get some finger touches. Pop that on. It's one. There we go. All right. Yeah. That's better. So the last step is to set up the photo backdrop so we can get some nice pictures of it and we can post it online. Cool, let's do the photos now. This was a fun project. I really like that there's like kind of a skill aspect to it because you can clap to a beat, like. So it's not just a piece of art, it's also a tool for improving your hand-eye coordination or your hand-ear coordination. But yeah, the files are available on my website, so if you would like to print this yourself, check the link in the description below. They're also available for free for all my tier 2 and up Patreon subscribers, so if you're interested, check that out as well. Thank you guys so much for following along this video. I hope it can inspire you and help you create some mechanical creations of your own, and I'll see you in the next video.